Many Canadians are worried about the impact of COVID-19 on their finances. It's a valid concern. The federal government, as you know, unveiled an $82 billion aid package earlier this week. But some renters say there's nothing in it to specifically address their needs. They're concerned about how they'll pay the rent if they're self-isolating and unable to work. In worst-case scenarios, they're frightened about possible evictions. Some people are uneasy about living in such close proximity to others. They fear possible contagion. They also have questions about cleaning and sanitation and who is responsible. Our Chase team has reached Jordy Dent to talk about all of this. He's the executive director of the Federation of Metro Tenants Associations, and he's in Toronto. Jordy, great to have you on the program. Let's get right to it. The Prime Minister's aid package, it included direct income support. Finance Minister Bill Morneau, we know he said the emergency care benefit will provide funds to those who need it most. Why is that not enough?
Well, I think the main issue is that none of those funds are going to go directly to renters. So, if you've got a kid, if you've got a family, if you're on EI, you're maybe going to get some money. But if you're not, you don't really have anything that you're going to have coming to you directly. And the big issue right now is you've got a lot of people with April 1st coming up that have lost a lot of income, and they're being put in a really precarious situation.
Are there options that are being proposed, using last month's rent, because most people pay first and last, right, towards covering this coming month's rent? Are those, kind of new possibilities out there and working?
Well, we're launching a petition today asking that rent on April 1st be completely deferred, totally waived, and people don't have to pay it. There are options that are on the table that have been given to landlords. A number of them are going to have their mortgage payments deferred. So that's good for them. But tenants don't really have anything right now, and there isn't really anything being proposed by the government. So we're really pushing for that hard now.
What about the fear of being evicted? We do know that Ontario and the Premier Doug Ford has said there will be no eviction orders acted upon during this coronavirus crisis. So does that give you any sense of comfort?
Yeah, I think that was really great, and credit should be given where it's due. I think a lot of people were terrified that they'd be thrown out into the streets during a pandemic. The problem is right now, what's going to happen in 6 months from now? A lot of people have lost, again, employment. They're being put in a situation right now where they're having to choose between feeding their families, buying medicine, paying rent. And while evictions have been suspended now, what's going to happen in 6 months? We really saw a lot of evictions after the 2008 financial crisis when people lost employment. And we're concerned that that's what's going to happen. That's why we're actually asking that money be given and put in renters' pockets right now.
So when you say to waive the rent, you're not talking about deferring the rent. But let me put the shoe on the other foot then. Landlords who have bought condos that they're renting, they've got bills to pay. They've got condo fees, mortgages, maintenance fees, whatever. Is a rent waiver fair to them?
We kind of anticipate that any package for renters would probably come with a package for landlords at the same time. But putting that aside, no one's losing money as a landlord in Toronto right now and in most of Ontario. And again, they've already been given a very generous package of mortgage deferrals. And that's, again, a very wealthy kind of class in society. Renters haven't been given anything. And the main issue right now isn't, whether or not you're going to be able to pay some fees in a couple months. It's whether you're going to be able to feed your family. So we think that, that's probably the most important thing right now to look at. We're very certain that landlords are going to be made whole. And again, they're making lots of money right now. It's folks on the low end of the income spectrum, folks that are homeless in the streets, but folks that are a day away from not being able to pay their rent. They're the folks that really need money today.
So if renters are able to pay their rent, they should pay their rent. Is that what you're saying? But those who can't should be given a waiver, or is this across the board that you're talking about?
Right now, it's. I think the easiest, simplest thing to do would be to have a package where tenants just don't have to pay rent. They can use that money to live and to take care of themselves. And then again, a corresponding package would probably be given by the government to landlords to cover that if they need it. Small businesses are being offered a package right now if they can prove they need it, and we think that would be fair for landlords. But again, they're not doing bad right now. There's no landlord that I know of in Ontario that's losing money hand over fist. They're making lots of money right now. but tenants aren't. And again, there's been some money that might flow to some renters through the federal package. But a lot of the tenants that we're talking to right now, they need money today. They need money on April 1st to be able to feed their families, pay for medicine, get around, try to work their jobs if they're having any jobs left right now.
All right, well, we'll hear what the Prime Minister has to say. We'll listen certainly for any further information for tenants, for landlords. But I certainly wish you health, and thank you for your time, Jordy.
You too, Savannah.
Jordy Dent is the Executive Director of the Federation of Metro Tenants Associations. We reached him in Toronto.